I want to start this topic and really focus on the compliance administrator. So Derek, as someone who worked on campus as an administrator, I'd like to hear from you here first and see what is it about being a compliance administrator in this process? What are some key things that you can provide guidance to our compliance administrators that may be listening?
Yeah, keep the faith. But no, definitely you want to make sure you have that open dialogue. I think it's so many individuals in this space that you need to continue to have transparency and conversations with. And that's the parent, that's the student athlete, that's the coach, as well as the certified agents. And so I think the biggest step in this particular situation is making sure you create those opportunities to meet with these individuals, as well as setting up meetings, doing your research. And I'm pretty sure I'll talk about that a little bit later, but I think that's the first step, is basically making sure you identify the individuals that you need to keep in constant communication with during this test of water process.
Student athletes need to submit their request to the NBA Undergraduate Advisory Committee. I want to level set here because I think this can be a confusing process because it is separate from declaring for the draft. So I'm going to turn to Darren. If you can tell us, what is the UAC, what is its purpose, and how does it help a student athlete?
Thanks, Angela. Yeah, so the UAC, or the Undergrad Advisory Committee, feedback is what we require our student athletes who are testing the waters to do. And you're actually submitting a request to the NBA. And the people who make up the UAC will be general managers, assistant general managers of NBA teams, NBA scouts, people that know best about, they've seen you play, they've watched film, and they have an idea of where you would be at during the NBA draft process. And so when you request that feedback directly to the NBA, you'll get one of four options back. You'll get either you're a lottery pick, you're a definite first rounder, you're a first round, second rounder, kind of a tweener, or you're a second round and not being drafted. And that feedback is very accurate. In fact, there's only 30 picks in the first round, and so they're very judicious with how many folks they say have first round grades. And so it's a really good way for a student athlete to get some feedback. And so once your team season's over, then you can request that feedback of the NBA. You'll get that feedback received back from them, and they also give it some feedback from the UAC out as you get closer to the draft. So you get a couple different rankings. So if you get invited to the combine, that they might adjust your ranking a little bit, and so you'll get it, right away. And then as you get closer to the draft, and Angela, as you mentioned, there are two separate processes. You want to ask for UAC feedback immediately before you're starting to go through this process, kind of lets you know where you're at. But if you actually get that feedback and you want to declare for the NBA draft, you must do that separately. So you request UAC feedback and then you declare for the draft. Two separate processes that must be done if you want to test the waters for the NBA draft process.